Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate,
Hey.
activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate.
Hey,
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my show, The Sean Davy Way Show. Now, let me get this stuff together. Okay. Hello, everyone. I love you guys. I love you guys. So today is a members only chat. Okay. I really struggle with doing members only lives because I be feeling really bad. Like, I don't like to exclude my audience. I really don't. But I do want the people that have memberships, like having them for a reason. Like y'all do deserve like special privilege, girl. So, um, yeah. So I like doing members only, lives. But I don't know, I just be feeling bad, right? So it's just going to be members only chats for right now. So you have to be a member when we do our book clubs in order to speak to us, okay? And I also think that it helps people that don't have memberships want to get one, right? Because they're like, oh, okay, well, I like when Sean does book club and, I want to comment, I want to say something, and whatnot. And you can be any tier of member, it doesn't matter. You can be low, it doesn't matter, just as long as you're a member. But we will be consistently doing these. That's why I don't like to start anything that I can't be consistent at. Because if I would have started this book club like a month or two ago, this will be the second video, for like is. So I would rather be consistent. So it's just like, because we're gonna do a reading today, we're gonna do a reading tomorrow, and then we're gonna switch over into the book Bling, and then we're gonna do 2 days of that, and then we're gonna switch back over to Soulacoaster. So we're gonna be going back and forth, okay? But I do want to give y'all 2 shows of chapters each time, okay? So we're going to start off with Soulacoaster, okay, girl? Because I already have it in my possession. So, Bling, I have that too. I just got to go look for it. Soulacoaster right here is like, boom! You pull it right up. I can pull it on the screen. The Bling that I have right now, y'all really can't see it, So I would rather put something so you can be like interactive instead of me just pretty much just coming on camera like this, reading a book. To me, I just feel like that's kind of like boring. If you're going to have the camera on, I do feel like you should have some type of visual for the people. So we got a little piece of a visual. I like the visual that we have because let me show you guys. Because it shows like the pictures and stuff from the book and where he was raised and family members and and stuff like that. So then it's cool. So then it's like you guys get to like go on the journey with us as we like read it, instead of me just saying names and things like y'all like, I don't know who that is. Well, now we get to put the faces to names, and all of that. So I like it like that, so that's something to follow along too, and it gives you a visual besides me just sitting here like reading, right? So yeah, so when we need to cuss people out and when we need to make fun of people and all of that, y'all get it. Y'all get it right away. Y'all get the joke immediately. And I'm a girl. So I love you guys. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Thank you all for the donation. I'm going to thank you in just a second. Thank you so much. Welcome to, because we've done a members chat live before. We have. I think this is the second time that we've done it. Oh my God, look at me. I was like half a virgin before I did this live. So look at me. I'm growing this, telling y'all stuff and keeping my word. Oh my goodness, I'm amazing. Speaking of keeping my word, before we jump into the book, y'all know I'm messy. Oh well, I'm messy. So Stormisha Alizé Mocha Shade, Tropical Rain Storm Ozempic Monroe. Okay. Was, running around last night on that gay beige backup channel of his. Absolutely a little mess before we get into the book. Let the people show up, let the people get in the building, and I'm gonna so I don't have to keep repeating myself. So Ozempic Monroe sat over there hopping out of chats and stuff. Y'all know I ain't scared of this whole. Y'all know I see this the anywhere baby. And it's going down. And it's going down. It just is what it is. Like, whatever. We're not let me get no problem. Stormisha Alizé Mocha Shade, Rain Tropical Storm, Beige. Absolutely. Do not forget the beige. That is very important. And I'm yes. Montrez Ozempic Monroe was going to Tasha X Baby. Yes. I'm a real boy. Him. girl. Yes, the racist himself. So the self-hater was running around girl in chat. So I decided to join him. So he was over with a certain content creator, Voldemort, Slodio, he who shall not be named, and I'm a girl. And I saw that hoe over there because one of my people said, look at his Sean. Look, he over here in chat. See, he over here this, he over here doing that. I said, oh no, the hell he not without me. I want to be a hoe. Where do I sign up? So Starmisha was over there, trying to talk, which is gross, talking to black people, although he hates us. Girl. So I jumped down in the chat and I said, Starmisha, y'all see it, it's right there. Starmisha, shut the up. Your racist little fat arse need a friend so bad, bitch. Yeah, absolutely. Have the same energy for shadummy, bitch. Yeah. So I dropped down in the chat, and then all of a sudden, it seems like little Stormisha, Tasha KX son, Ozempic Monroe, had better things to do because he didn't comment anymore. Stormisha, you are such a bitch. Like you really are. Like I like now, like if I ever see you, it's up. Like now, because you are such a oh my god! I'm just like, it's Farmisha. It's Farmisha Ozempic Monroe. Welcome to member, gang, all the members in the building, gang. It's Farmisha. Now you know it's going down, girl. Why I oughta? Yeah. See, I'm the baby Tasha K was always looking for in your man. I'm the son Tasha K always wanted. Ooh, in your past. I'm the gay that she was looking for, girl. And you can't take. Yeah, you can't take, girl. Mm-hmm. Imagine me winning the battle because you don't want to smoke. Me winning the battle, and when I see you, it's still up and stuck. But then when you see me, look around everybody on mute. Aren't you gonna kick my ass? Like aren't you like that guy? Like what happened to that? Only have this energy for estrogen? Only have this energy for fallopian tubes? Only have this energy for people that took care of you? People that let you sleep on their floor? Air mattresses and stuff? You don't got energy for those girls or what? Because I'm really confused by that. Like ain't no way in the world you would have dropped down in the chat and said anything to me. Ho! And it not been up and stuck. It not been no problem. I would have fired up live immediately. Oh, what's the problem? You want to talk? Oh, you got something to say, girl? Cause what's tea? Mm-hmm. What nigga over there swallowing Ozempic supposed to be checking me? Sitting over there like acupuncture with those Ozempic pins. Correct. I called you fat and all of a sudden it's just, oh girl. I called you big and all of a sudden you on a weight loss journey again. All of this stuff. Oh my God. You really shouldn't let me have so much power over your life, smut. You really shouldn't let me have so much power over your life. I saw you sat over there saying that you're tired of being straight again, that you're over that you're over Big Titty Jones, Tick Old Bitty Jones, breast sitting in her lap Jones. We hear that you're over her because weren't you just over there talking about being celibate again, girl, 4 days ago? After I said that you were demonetized, then you had to, reapply for the YouTube partnership. Because you were gone for 15 days. That means you should be popping videos out like hotcakes. You should. Yeah, you've lost a lot of time, girl. Mm-hmm. YouTube is your bread and butter. Yeah. You don't strip anymore, Ebony. Yeah. Because your OnlyFans is gone, remember? Girl, you should take that Twitter down too while you're at it. All this full free promotion for something that doesn't exist. So we hear you're tired of being straight. We hear that's getting boring. Absolutely. You decided to be celibate. You said that you make way more money. You have way more money in your account when you're not sleeping with anyone. Okay, but whatever that means. Is that why you're dating Brick Breast Tickle Bittis Jones? Is that why? Because y'all like wear the same bra size? You try to bind them with her, you don't have to, or like what? Stormy should go like this. Go like this. Stormy should do this. Hurry up right now. Do this. Do this. See, I can't do it like you. I'm not as blessed as you are, girl. I'm not as blessed because you can lick yours. You can lick yours. I can't. You can put yours in your mouth. Yeah. Yeah. You can make a Sprite can disappear in your mouth. Yeah, you can do that, girl. So, Stormy should go like this. Do the Maddie. Do the Maddie. Do the Maddie. Do the Maddie, girl. Do the Maddie. Stormisha, tired of being straight already or what? That didn't last long. That YouTube check, girl. I thought you weren't demonetized. Weren't you live? Yo, what happened to you? Ain't chopping no videos of your... You're not doing the Tasha K chop up? And none of that. What happened? Aren't you monetized? Go get your money, girl. Stormisha, it's going on fair days. It's going on fair days. You ain't got nothing to say? All this gay tea out here, and you don't have nothing to say? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're not too far off you, okay? Yeah, we'll be revisiting you, Stormisha. We will. But right now, we're going to get into this book. So we got plenty of people in the building, over 400 people in the building. We're over 15 minutes, and I want to wait to at least 15 minutes to give y'all time to get here so we can start reading, okay? So we can start reading. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. No, I just don't understand why. How can you have all that smoke for females, but then when it comes to dudes, it's just like, because having smoke for Slodio, having smoke for radio, that's a waste of time. Like he's going through, like he's pathetic. So going after him is weak. So you can't use him as an example. Okay, you didn't respond to Armand. Okay, we get it. Whatever. You do decide to take your time and respond to Shauna. Look what happened to you. Look what happened. Popped. Yeah, super popped. Like opening a soda. It is how you don't get more pop. Suspended, demonetized, listed as the unknown racist, self-hating racist, all of that. You're bad. Yeah, I wasn't lying. Like I told people who you were, and you proved my point. But now people in the live over there, the last live he did almost 5 days ago, wanted to know about why he got suspended, what he said to get suspended, what, and I don't want to talk about it. I ain't trying to go over that. Why not? Why not? That's weird. That's weird. You don't want to talk about it? I do. I don't mind. When people bring up my roast, the things that I said, I don't mind talking about them. I'm completely fine with it. I wasn't sitting over here dragging children and calling people R words. I mean, N words, hard R. I wasn't doing none of that. No. But now he want to run from it. No, don't run from it. You did it. Talk about it. Why not you act like you did it behind the scenes? You didn't. You uploaded it. You talked your ish behind the scenes and uploaded it. But yeah, you're trash. Yeah, you don't get to run away from that. So if he thinks that it's over, okay, good for him. Because I'm going to give him the same smoke I gave Tasha. Because I don't discriminate. He clearly does. I don't care what he do, who he talk to, who he contact, any of that. It's popping. Because I'll go as dark as he will. I sure will. I'll do it worse, though. I take families. So he better look around, ask around. Before he really try to pop off at the kid. But he wanted to be over with. No. Who told you that? Who told you it was over? Because it's not. Ain't no fat lady singing. Ain't none of that. No one's going to sing. Bitch. I already told you don't want to smoke. Try to tell you that beforehand. I know a hoe when I see one. you're that. So yeah, you don't want to smoke. You don't want any problems, but you want to act like you do. Okay, well, act like you're gonna handle it. That's all I can tell you. Because I am. We love you, Tasha K. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. So yes. So let's get into the book. Yes. Oh, so many stars. Oh my God. Shout out to Ashanti. Oh, I like your name. For becoming a member. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Shout out to Shanita. I hope I'm saying it right. Shanita? I hope I'm saying it right. For becoming a member. Shout out to Lotus. Shout out for becoming a member. Shout out to Jessica. For becoming a member. Shout out to Judah. I believe Judah's been a member before. Probably just renewed the membership. Shout out to Ash Nicole. Nicole said before we get into the deep mess, Sean, it's my... I turned 30 and I would like a little piece. Happy birthday. There you go. Just gave it to you, a little piece. Now I love you, Sean. It's questionable. I deserve it. Do you? I promise you went live on my... that does not mean anything, no, Ash, girl. And then a piece of this title that say happy birthday to you. Don't act like this was meant to be. Don't act like this was the Lord. It wasn't. See, Sean, God has you go live on my 30th. Like, won't he do it? He actually won't. He actually won't. Because this is of the devil, Ash. This is of the devil. Now, 2-3 happy birthdays, that's it. 2-3 happy birthdays, so we don't have any proof. Her ID is not on her icon, on her avatar. We don't have any proof of this. We just have to assume and then look at her gonna get a membership. After that, you didn't have to get no membership, girl. You didn't already room to show. You didn't have to do that. My God. Shout out to her, and y'all say happy birthday to her, I guess. Shout out to Natasha. Thank you for becoming a member, sweetheart. I love you, girl. Shout out to Chocolate Barbie for becoming a member as well. Thank you so much. Shout out to Gemini Twin, the membership goddess. Thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you. Shout out to Aisha for becoming a member. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Shout out to Shasha or Shay. Right? She says, hey, Sean, great content. Thank you so much, sweetie. Shout out to Jessica for the super sticker. I deserved it. She says, Sean, love you down, handsome. Thank you. Sending love from South Carolina. Love South Carolina. I used to live there. Shout out to South Carolina. I used to live in Mullins. Gross. I lived in Mullins, South Carolina, and we were going to move to Florence. We're going to move to Florence or Columbia. Is Columbus or Columbia? One or the other. But yeah, we used to go to Myrtle Beach and stuff all the time. I love Myrtle Beach. I love South Carolina. I really love living there. I didn't want to move. Shout out to Tara for becoming a member. Shout out to you, sweetheart. And shout out to Ernestine Lee. My baby, she says, hey, Sean. Hi, Ernestine. Love you, babes. So let's get into, finally, right? Let's get into the book. Hold on. Let me, yeah, I used to live in South Carolina. I loved living there. I was so sad when we moved. I did not want to move. I did not. So let's pull this out. Boom. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get into what the frick. Okay, there. Okay. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Now we're going to read R. Kelly's book, Soulacoaster. Welcome to the first annual book club. And I'm going to love you guys. I'm excited about doing a book club. I've been wanting to do one for a while. I love to let the audience know what I know because we all don't know the same information, right? So just because some people have read this book or have heard of this book does not mean that everyone has. And if you're going to judge someone, I think that it's best to know as much as possible. You're not going to know everything, but I do think that you should get as much information on something as you can. So with this book, R. Kelly made it seem as if this was more sort of like his diary, not a book because he's slow. Absolutely. He is a mountain. He is a tall tree, everything but a smart human being. And he views this as like, I guess, his diary journal, because men don't have diaries. Roberts, men do not have diaries. We have journals, okay? We don't have diaries. Women do. Women do. Okay, that's for women. Women have those. We have journals. Okay, let's start there. Just that's the difference. Diary, girl. Journal, boy. All right. But this is what he makes it seem. It's as it is. As we read this book, I am not here to feel bad for R. Kelly or downplay anything that R. Kelly has done. I just think that it makes you understand the situation better. So when thinking of how you're going to like think of him or judge him or whatever you're going to do, you have more information, right? I don't believe in defending people like this, even if they have been through horrible things, right? The reason I don't believe in protecting them or feeling bad for them is because it still does not make it okay. I don't understand how someone can go through an experience firsthand. The old saying, hurt people, I just don't. If you went through something firsthand, why would you, and how bad it made you feel or how traumatic it was, why take somebody else through the same thing? Like, why do that? I will never understand it. It's a different meaning of knowing right from wrong, because you know that it was wrong. Okay. So why do it? If you know what happened to you was wrong, so you know better. You have firsthand experience of better, So I think it kind of excuses the people that do these things if you empathize or sympathize with them, because it's not okay. Anybody that does it is a bad person. Like you're not a good person. You need help and maybe taken away from society. You do. I think that those things are necessary. So that's why I can't defend R. Kelly or feel badly for him, because it's still not right. It's with the things that he did. And again, I know a lot of the allegations are not true, but all it takes is one. Yeah. That's with the people that do support R. Kelly. All it takes is one to say, oh, a lot of those women are lying. A lot of those women are lying. A lot of those women are lying. Why? One. That's it. You're you're admitting two things at once. You're admitting that there are a lot of women that lied on him, but you're also admitting that there are ones that told the truth. So for the sake of the ones that told the truth, all that matters is justice. Okay. I don't care that R. Kelly was slow. He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. He was illiterate, came from an area of poverty. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. I don't, because he could have made better decisions. He came from that area and was blessed in abundance and did nothing to try and heal from his past. Instead, he just kind of tweaked it and quirked it and made it into a present, or doing things to people that shouldn't have been happening. And there was a lot of things that happened to him that shouldn't have happened either. So, that's just what it is. So yeah, I can't defend him as much as I would want to, because he has been through some horrible things. I can't defend him because it's still wrong. 100%. There's been things that have happened to me will not excuse me going out here doing and making those same decisions, because a lot happened to me in my youth. That doesn't matter, because you're an adult now. So you have to figure out your adult life. That happened in your past. Okay. It's not just going to go away. You got to live with it by talking about it and expressing yourself and, and stuff like that. We can't, it's easier said than done. We try not to shut down, but we do. We shut down. We absolutely do. So, let's get into the book Soulacoaster. All right. So yeah, copyright, blah, blah, blah. Soulacoaster, Diary of Me. I'm gonna make this big on the screen so you guys can see the pictures and all that good stuff. Soulacoaster, The Diary of Me, R. Kelly with David Ritz. Okay, so basically David Ritz wrote this because R. Kelly is illiterate. So the first chapter, well, it's a journal, so it's or diary. So it's not like written how it would, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. It's not written like that. It's yeah. So, but the first, if you will, chapter leading into, because it's like 4, is called "The Music Is Swarming." Okay, so that's what we're about to get into right now. We're going to get into "The Music Is Swarming." R. Kelly did have an author's note. It says, "Soulacoaster is a memoir. I have shared the most challenging times of my life in this diary, but I'm telling my story. Certain episodes could not be included for complicated reasons." And I do believe that a lot of that, what he's talking about right here, is Aaliyah. It was kind of like brushed past, but not really spoke on. So Aaliyah and some other things that happened in his family, because it is rumored that R. Kelly, that his grandfather is his father. Okay. I also think that that is a part of the book, or diary, that people really wanted R. Kelly to get into, because it has been rumored that his mother went through certain things with his father, or her father, and R. Kelly was allegedly a product of what was happening to her. So it is a part of the book that people wanted him to talk about, and he really did not divulge much information on that and whom his father is. So, yeah, but it has been a long-standing rumor that R. Kelly's mother, and when I say long-standing rumor, back in Chicago, back in Illinois, back in the day, when R. Kelly was a kid, it was rumored in the neighborhood. So this is a neighborhood rumor that, because R. Kelly's grandfather was very controlling, and he didn't let his daughters go anywhere. They were like housebound. So for her to have had a baby, people were really, in the neighborhood, were puzzled by her having a child, because she didn't go anywhere. Like she was like a hermit. When she left the house, she left with her father, so, or parents, I should say. But yeah, so it was rumored that a lot of things with R. Kelly, and certain disabilities and stuff that he had, are due to incestuous side effects, allegedly. Okay, so I do think that the family and Aaliyah is what he is referring to. Okay, because he can't speak of Aaliyah, he really can't talk about her. He's not allowed to. Additionally, to protect the privacy of others, specific names and identifying characteristics have been changed. Events and conversations have been recreated from my memory and reconstructed to the best of my recollection. I hope you enjoy the ride. Alrighty. Yeah, we're not reading that because you didn't write it. Act 1, back in the day. Let's get into that. Before you go on this solar coaster with me, there is one thing I gotta say. No matter what speed it goes, how high it soars, or how low it drops, hold on. I hope you're doing that in jail. The music is swarming. Since the day of my birth, I feel like my soul has been on some kind of roller coaster. That's why he calls it solar coaster. With all the ups and downs, twists, turns, laughing and screaming, crying, smiling and crying, sometimes I ask myself, when will this ride stop? Or will it ever stop? Okay, we just read that, not read it again. Okay. Speed to go source. Sorry, I don't read the same things over and okay. Even as I worked on this book, the music was swarming, pushing, inspiring, and challenging me. And I let it. I always accept the challenge. From my earliest memories, the last night's recording session, music has been my life's mission and my greatest passion. I feel like God has placed a lifetime of melodies inside me, and that's a wonderful thing. But unfortunately, a great gift can come with a great price and a hell of a responsibility. I call my gift a beautiful disease. Okay. When I'm working on one song, it seems like I'm always interrupted by another that's knocking, sometimes banging at the door of my soul. There are times I feel like a radio station with all the channels blasting at once. I often get smothered by songs and lyrics, smothered by ideas and about musical pieces and how they mix and match. They're like jigsaw puzzles. As soon as I put one together, I'm on to the next. My mind is always moving fast and furious. It won't let me rest until all the pieces of the song fit together. Now, I do get that perspective because it's kind of how it is on YouTube. It's like as soon as you get done doing one thing, you're already, sometimes as you're doing something, you get inspired to, So I definitely get what he means by that. He says, when I was a kid, I found out I couldn't read or write like other kids. I would worry myself sick that something was wrong with me and that my disability would trap me. When the music started flowing through me, at first I was overwhelmed and worried. Why was I hearing so many songs? Musical phrasings, lyrics, and song structures were fully formed in my head long before I could understand what these things were. Even when somebody said that I had a special gift as a little kid, I was scared that it would drive me crazy. It took me a lot of time, effort, and energy, and a lot of God's grace to learn to recognize the gift for what it was and harness it, even as I struggled in other ways. I got a leash on my music now, and I can walk it. It's not running wild anymore. I can walk it wherever I want it to go. This book is like my music. It's not just stray melodies. It comes to me late at night. Certain scenes, voices, and memories appear unexpectedly. Things that made me proud and things that are still hard for me to even talk about. My life is like a mansion with lots of rooms. Some of those rooms are well lit with bright, joyfully colored party lights and full of happiness. Other rooms are dark, and some of the doors to those rooms have never even been cracked open. Well, now I'm opening those doors and I'm inviting you in. Now, girl, I gotta admit, I was a little worried. I was a little worried because I agree. We all have dark rooms, if we were all, imagining our life as, there are some rooms that are dark, meaning thoughts that we don't want to think about, things that we push away, things that we suppress. That would be a dark room, So not all dark rooms are, meaning that you are a devil. It's just some things are really dark. Some things are really hard to relive, or because it could be like experiencing it all over again. So, but yeah, he said he's gonna let us in. So yeah, let's get into it. My mom wasn't perfect. She had her bad habits. Above all, mom was a praying woman who looked to God for a better way. She was a loving woman who protected her 4 children with the strength of a lioness. And here's Joanne, his mother. Joanne. I would have to disagree. With Robert Sylvester Kelly when he said that his mother was a lioness. Again, we all view love different, but we do. I do think that as a mother, she loved her children, but like he said, she has some bad habits, and those bad habits prevented her from being the best mother that she could have been to her children. Her going out and seeking certain things, leaving them alone at times or with other people and other people's care. Not everybody's going to care for your kid how you will. So the things that you wouldn't do to them, the ways that you would never hurt them, other people are going to take those opportunities. And I don't feel that she did the best she could have when it came to this situation. Not to judge her, but it's, let's just keep it factual. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. I'm going to jump back into the member and the stars too. Thank y'all so much for becoming members. I love you guys. Mom, this is the next part. Mom, when I call out mom, it brings the spirit of Joanne Kelly into my heart. I'm calling out mom at the beginning of this book because as I go through the pages of my life and start to wake up the images and feelings of my past, I need to invoke her here in the present. I need the spirit of my mother by my side. She's still my guide and my strength. She was the first one to believe in me. She told me that I could achieve all the things through Jesus Christ. At 45, I can still hear her words, and they're just as comforting as now as ever. It was She who taught me to believe I could fly beyond the sky and soar into pure space. No matter what we were going through, no matter how small our Thanksgiving table, my mother's inspiring strength kept our hearts full, even if our bellies were sometimes empty. She was strong in her faith, to something I carry with me to this day. She taught me how to be thankful. Didn't matter if the neighbor or that neighbor had more than we did. Whatever we had was the reason to thank the Lord. Financially, we had nothing. Spiritually, we had everything. The reason I loved my mother so much is she was not perfect and she never claimed to be, but I loved her. She was my mother. She had her bad habits. She loved her Winston cigarettes and her Miller beer. Sometimes she'd drink too much and get sick. My mother wasn't ashamed to talk about her imperfections. She discussed her faults, telling me how she wanted to stop drinking and smoking like she did. My mother was a praying woman who looked to God for a better way. Above all, she was a loving woman who protected her 4 children with the strength of a lioness. My mother was my daddy. Okay, so I do want to point that out again. He does not speak much of his father. He doesn't know much of his dad. Okay, he doesn't. And allegedly, my mother was my daddy. So to speak, because she raised me on her own, her husband, Lucius, became my stepfather. But no disrespect to him, he was not my real father. As a kid, when I first understood that my father left my mother when she was pregnant with me, I wasn't really upset about it, but it hurt. Thankfully, I had someone who was a genius at being a mother and a father too. So R. Kelly's mother had always told him ever since he was a child that while she was pregnant, his father just abandoned her. So R. Kelly never met his father. He even still to this day, he's never met his father. Allegedly, the reason he's never met his father is because allegedly his father is his grandfather. Okay, his father is allegedly his grandfather. Okay. Yes. Isn't Sylvester the youngest? I believe so. Yeah, Robert is not the youngest. I think he's the third, third born, third born, third born. Yeah, but let's keep going. So, though I'd never met or seen my father, okay, though I'd never met or seen my father, on special occasions like Christmas and birthdays, my siblings' fathers would come by and take them shopping for toys and clothes. I never got jealous, but I do remember being sad and curious. So, again, all of Robert's brothers and sisters all have different fathers. Okay. Okay. All of them have different fathers. All of the other children know their father. Robert is the only one that does not and has not met his father. The only one. Okay. Okay. So that would be a sad feeling, when your family's getting picked, your brothers and sisters are getting picked up, taking shopping and stuff like that with their dad and having a connection and bond with their father, but you just don't, you're just left, just like out of the loop. Okay. But let's keep going. Okay. What is it? Okay. Okay. Though I'd never met or seen my father on special occasions like Christmas and birthdays, my siblings' fathers would come by and take them shopping for toys and clothes. I never got jealous, but I do remember being sad and curious. In fact, one day when I was about 11 or 12, I decided to ask my mom questions about my father, like, who is he? Where is he? And why doesn't he come and take me out for my birthday or bring me anything for Christmas? My mother would just roll her eyes, look away from me and say, don't say nothing to me about that no good son of a B word. Because the minute he found out I was pregnant with you, his coward arse left, disappeared in the wind, she'd say. Didn't want nothing to do with you or me. I mean, hey, that could be true, or she could, I mean, two things could be true at once. So she could be saying this about her girl. Don't let me get to talking. Don't let me get to talking. Don't let me get to talking. But yeah, so he's never had a relationship with a father. He's had a father figure around, but not the best. Not the best one. So he said, I remember my mother's eyes on one of those days, close to blood red as the anger grew and grew while she talked about my father as if he was the devil himself. I remember my eyes getting baby blood red too, because what my mother loved, I loved, and what she hated, I hated. It was that day, that moment, that I decided to hate my father. Not knowing really hate, not really knowing what hate meant or having a clear understanding about love, she told me on that day to never mention him again. His mother's quote, I'm your mother and your father, she said. I promised her that I'd never talk about him again, and I never did. I remember taking the word father and putting it into a little brick box into the back of my mind until now. That is so sad. That is sad. See, I be trying not to see. I be really trying not to sympathize with him, but it's a hard thing to not have a father. Like that's to not have a, you need both parents. Both parents are very essential, right? But if you've never had a father, how do you know how to be one? So then you look at the situation with him and his kids. Robert doesn't have the best relationship with his kids. Like they're distant, they're really close to their mother, and stuff like that. But it's like he truly got it honest. How can you judge him grade him on something he's never studied for? It's So it's so hard, not to, because I mean, so literally being a kid and putting the word daddy or father inside of a brick box and putting it into the back of your mind and never mentioning it again, that's a lot of suppression because his mother, to me, did not handle it properly. I get that she's probably mad or I don't know. I just feel like the conversation should have been different. Just telling him to basically shut up, about it. That's not clarity. You can't. How do you move on from that? There's no closure, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel bad for both. I feel badly for him, and I also feel bad for his mom. It's crazy. But let's keep reading. Okay. My mother was a woman of strength, love, and courage. She always felt like what we didn't have, God gave to us. Whatever you ain't got, God gave you, so count it all as joy, she would say. Now, most people won't believe this because I'm talking about my mother, but Mama Joanne could sing her butt off. People said she sounded like Gladys Knight and Aretha Franklin mixed together. Every time she'd open her mouth to sing, whether it was in church, in a club, or outside on the porch, I would watch the people get their reactions. Well, I would watch people to get their reactions. My mother is the reason why I fell in love with old school music. To this day, the closer I stay to the real soul of music, the closer I am to the spirit of my mother. To me, she is the soul of music. I was 5 years old in 1972, and music was all over me. Music was my mother, and my mother was music. When she was out of the house, gave, I was never quite right. When she came home, I felt safe. My mother was my comfort zone. All I wanted was to live in the music with her. The first time my mom let me go to hear her sing, my heart started hammering so hard. I thought that I was straight up on my way to heaven. So his mom used to like sing in clubs and stuff like that when he was younger. One thing too, I feel like you should take note from is when he says he never felt safe when his mom was gone. He only felt safe when his mom was there. So stating that means that it was something going on that made him either feel uneasy or he was being hurt. He was being hurt or harmed by someone, but it didn't happen when his mom was there. That's why she was the comfort zone, because she treated him well. She was a good mom, you know. But I do think that that's something to take heed to, him stating that, because that says a lot. You know, when a person says, like, I did not feel safe at home. I only felt safe when my mom was there. Like, that means a lot. That means a lot. But let's keep going. Okay. It was one of those sweet summer nights in Chicago when the breeze comes off of Lake Michigan and everyone wants to go outside and enjoy it. I was holding my mother's hand walking down the street to the nightclub where she and her band, the Six Pack, were going to play. My mother had grown up with music in the house. My grandfather was a musician who played blues guitar and used to do gigs playing B.B. King numbers. As we passed the original Regal Theater, Mom ignited my imagination with stories of legendary Black artists who had played on that stage. Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, The Supremes, The Temptations, B.B. King, James Brown, and even little Stevie Wonder. Al Green's at the Regal tonight, Mom said. Chicago's South Side in the early 1970s was music in motion, bursting with our Southern blues roots and deep urban rhythms just like us. And among Chicago folk, no one was bigger than Al Green. Let's Stay Together, Love and Happiness, and I'm Still in Love with You were everyone's favorite jams. I'd love to hear Al, my mother said as she looked up at the picture, but I got some singing of my own to do, got my own show to put on. Outside the little lounge where Mom was going to perform, she turned to the other drummer in her band, a big man with a big laugh and a wide smile. The club wasn't having a 5-year-old walk through its front door, but my mother knew they weren't watching the back. Before I knew it, her drummer had scooped me up and hid me in his drum case and carried me inside. As the band started to play, I opened the lid to a steel peep. My eyes went wide. I was amazed. Clouds of smoke, swells of laughter, sweet women's perfume, the strong smell of cigars, the stink of whiskey. I knew it was something big, something exciting was about to happen. Everything about the place thrilled my soul. The jukebox was playing Marvin Gaye as I waited on my mother to come out. She was in the back room getting ready, like always, smoking a Winston and drinking a Miller. She was taking her time. The longer the folks waited, the more she knew they would want her to come out and sing. Finally, Mom appeared. She was wearing her stage outfit, a silky black dress with gold sparkles up and down the sleeve. She was a heavyset woman, flawless brown skin, brown eyes, thick eyebrows. She looked beautiful. She was beautiful. She made her way to the front of the band. No stage, no curtains, no introduction. Just her stepping up to the mic, strong as she could. And when the band kicked in, she let the first note go. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it. So that's sweet, that he was really a really big fan of his mom and her singing, and she's the one who inspired him to sing. And obviously, when it comes to talent, it was definitely generational because her father was an instrument player plus a singer, and she became a singer, and so did R. Kelly. So it's definitely, and R. Kelly's daughter, she sings too, and so yeah, it's definitely a generational thing. So let's keep going. Smashed the night, smashed the crowd, smashed the song. Her first song belted out was an Aretha Franklin number, singing Don't Send Me No Doctor, filling me up with all those pills. Got me a man named Dr. Feelgood, and Lord, he takes care of all my pains and ills. Me, I had no pains or ills. I had a mother who could sing. She didn't dance, she didn't wave her arms or do any tricks. She didn't have to. Miss Joan Kelly was a stand-up, straight-up soul singer. Peeping out of the drum case, I saw how the people loved her. She took that midnight train to Georgia, leaving the pips behind. My mother didn't need no pips. She had enough voice for 4 singers. She was tearing the roof off that little club. And me, well, I was cherishing every minute. The joy of the music was the joy of my mother. As far as I could tell, Mom ruled the world. Lulu, let's keep going. Love, love, there's no one on earth more romantic than me. I've been in love with love ever since I can remember. I've always loved the idea of having a girlfriend. I love the closeness, the sweetness, holding her hand, kissing her cheek, whispering words of affection, and hearing her say that she feels the same about me. My first girlfriend was named Lulu, and she was so special. Though we were only 8 and it was puppy love, I believe she was my first musical inspiration when it comes to love songs. I can still smell the fragrance of our innocence. Lulu and I had a very special bond that, even at our age, felt futuristic. Ours was that kind of bond that young people talk about when they say they're going to grow up and get married and just be together forever. And though it sounds, although it sounds much like a fairy tale, it's what me and Lulu believed in our hearts, and nobody could tell us anything different. Sometimes Lulu and I will play house. We built a make-believe house out of a big cardboard box that we put in the backyard. We cut openings for windows and hung fresh paper towels to look like curtains. We took crayons and drew little decorations on the walls. We got a towel to look like a rug and placed it on the ground. We did everything we could to make it pretty. Inside the cardboard house, we had a make-believe kitchen where Lulu served me a make-believe lunch. We sat on a towel and drank make-believe coffee just like our mothers did. We just sat there and looked at each other. Lulu had light brown eyes and a smile that made me smile. In our make-believe dream house, Lulu and I made a vow to be girlfriend and boyfriend forever. And I feel like this is Lulu was the conduit behind a lot of women that he would seek after, is how I feel. Lulu is like a cold word for litter, if you will. The innocence is something that he is a big fan of. Removing innocence from people, taking something that looks innocent and removing it. So I definitely feel like with the young women that have been in R. Kelly's life, like the Aaliyahs and on and so forth, he's always looked at them as like the Lulu. You know, they're his Lulu. You know, because our Kelly to me is attracted to all age groups, right? But I think with the younger ones, it's more of a fetish instead of a, you know, I don't think he took him serious. I think it was more so of like a fantasy he was playing out in his mind. Not, you know, because he would sleep with women of all ages, you know, not just, you know, young women, like, no. He used to sleep with women older than him, twice his age, and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I do think this is where, you know, that comes from. But let's keep going. Okay. Let's take a walk, Rob. Lulu said to me one day. It had rained earlier, but the sun finally came out and walking sounded good. We left the backyard hand in hand. Little 8-year-old me was floating on love. Across the street, the Concord Drive sat Beacon Hill Elementary School. A wire fence had been built to keep kids away from Thorn Creek, which rushed like a river between Beacon Boulevard and the railway line. I like the river, said Lulu. I like looking at the water. Me too. Although there was a sign on the gate that said, danger, keep out, there was also a hole in the fence that beckoned on us. The rain had swollen Thorn Creek and the water flowed faster and stronger than normal. We were fascinated just to look down at the water, which had a rhythm of its own. After a while, a bunch of kids came along. They were laughing and carrying on. One of these kids, a boy bigger than me, said, Hey, this our river. What you doing around here? River belongs to everyone, said Lulu. You can't own a river. Hell, I can't, said the boy as he stepped up to Lulu. I say it's my river and y'all get out. I stepped in front of Lulu and said, we were here first. We're not leaving. Out, the boy screamed. It's our river too, I screamed back. With that, the big kids started pushing and shoving, and one of them pushed Lulu so hard she fell backwards into the water. Before I knew it, she was struggling to get out. I reached for her, but the fast-moving current, stronger than the rain, was carrying her away. I didn't know how to swim, and neither did she. The other kids were running away, and she was screaming, Rob, Rob. And I was screaming, Lulu, Lulu. Suddenly, she was out of sight beyond the river's bend. I started yelling out for help, but I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I was hysterical. I was jumping up and down. After that felt like forever. Some grown-ups arrived. I explained what happened and followed them downstream until they came upon a big rock. There was Lulu, her head crushed against the rock. She wasn't talking, wasn't moving, but there was a lot of blood coming from her head. So just wow. 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 And this is a true story. I looked it up because the girl's name wasn't Lulu. Her name wasn't Lulu. But it's a true story. This happened. This did. But let's keep look at Lizzie. Lizzie, girl. Did she die? Sean, did she make it? Look at Giselle. Look, did she make it? Oh man, look. Okay, okay. Let me keep reading so I can answer for y'all. Okay. Lulu can't be dead, I screamed. But the gash and the blood and the women moaning told me what I didn't want to hear. I wanted Lulu to come back, wanted this day to start over. This time me and Lulu wouldn't go inside the fence. We wouldn't go near the water. We'd go back to our cardboard dream house and sit on our make-believe rug. We'd go there and live happily ever after. Death couldn't be this real. Lulu's life couldn't be snuffed out like this because some fool pushed her too hard. It didn't make any sense. Lulu couldn't be dead. She's alive. I knew that I'd be seeing her smiling eyes soon as I woke up from this dream. But it was no dream. It really happened. Yeah. So this happened to him as a little boy. And he really felt that Lulu was the love of his life, you know. He really felt that about her. Now, of course, at 8 years old, you know, but you dream, you know, as children we dream. So I do believe that a lot of the younger women that he has gotten with has been his Lulu. In his eyes, Lulu was perfect. Lulu wasn't mean. She was a good girl. She was sweet. She stood up for herself, you know, kind, giving, all of that, and really, really cared about him when he was going through a lot of other stuff. Too, Lulu was like the light at the end of the tunnel. And with her passing away, I feel that he's always looked for that because that, you know, she's an angel, you know, so it puts her into not perfect, but perfect. So I believe he chases that with other girls. He looking for a Lulu in younger women. So yeah, let's keep going. That night, I was still in a state of shock. Mom, sensing what I was dealing with, held me close in her arms and said, "Wasn't your fault, baby. You couldn't do anything to save her. Lulu is in heaven now. She's with the Lord, sweetheart, and you with me. It's okay to cry. Cry all you need to, baby, because I got you. I'm with you. I'm right here. Mom's words helped, but she couldn't change the awful truth that Lulu was gone. I kept seeing her caught up in the current, reaching out to me. I'd heard her screaming out to me, watched the river washing Lulu until she disappeared, gone forever. A beautiful butterfly lost in a raging storm. That is so sad. That is horrible. I mean, being a kid, 8 years old, not being able to do something, feeling like if you only knew. That's why again it's really important for children to know how to swim, and the earlier the better. For simple things like that. All it took, if she knew how to swim, she would have been okay. If he would have knew how to swim, maybe he could have helped her. But neither one of them did, so there was truly nothing he could do. So he didn't do anything wrong. But as a kid, you can tell them that over and over and over and over again that it's not their fault, but it's going to be hard for them not to take some type of blame. Although it's not their fault. Like it was not his fault. Like it really was not. It was the boy that pushed her fault. He needed to go to jail. Sorry, let's go. So the dream is the next part of the book. Diary, journal. When I was about 9 years old, I had a strange dream I'll never forget. I was in this house where everything was white. Walls, floors, ceilings, carpet, bricks on the fireplace, curtains at the window. I saw myself seated at a white piano and playing a song. This was weird because at 9, I didn't know how to play any kind of instrument. But in this dream, the melodies were flying off the keys and filling the room. It was as if I was in the midst of a musical storm. Then suddenly I heard the doorbell. I stopped playing and ran to see who was there. I opened the door, but no one was there. Stretching my neck to look in all directions, I couldn't see a thing. In the distance, though, I heard the faint sound of giggling. I didn't know who it was that was laughing or what they were laughing about. So I went back to the piano and played the beautiful melodies and chords, just started back up. Then the doorbell rang again and again. When I got to the door, no one was there, except this giggling was louder. The third time it happened, I was at the door practically before the bell rang. I desperately wanted to find out who was doing all the giggling. I quickly opened the door, and standing there were musical notes, except they were all cartoon characters. I tried to reach out to touch them, but they took off and ran like the wind. I chased after them, giving it all I had, but they were too fast for me. I yelled as loud as I could, "Hey, what are you guys?" They stopped dead in their tracks, turned around, and came back to me and said, "We're your biggest hit song." Then, at the blink of an eye, they ran clean out of sight. I went back to the house and sat down at the piano, and I played a melody like no other melody I had ever heard. I began to sing the hook of the song, but for some strange reason, when I woke up, I could not remember what I was saying in the hook. Couldn't remember the words. It would take about 20 years, but the words came back and the dream made perfect sense. Let me scroll down. Coffee with 3 creams and 6 sugars. Okay, now here's where things start to get a little weird. Okay. This, I believe I can fly. He does name the song. He does. Well, it's, but we gotta wait till we get there. Unless y'all want a spoiler alert. But yeah, so let's get into this. We moved around a lot when I was young. We lived in the housing projects on 63rd Street on the south side before moving to a small place on 107 and Parnell. Back then, the projects didn't seem as bad as people make them out to be today. My family knew everybody in the neighborhood, and everybody in the neighborhood knew my family. We were always broke, not having the things we wanted. But I remember love taking the place of the material things we wanted or needed. We might not have had the money to pay the rent a lot of times, but I remember sitting out on the porch until 1 or 2 in the morning, listening to Al Green and Marvin Gaye, playing cards with my mom and my aunties and cousins. I wish I could have brought that back. Sorry. I wish I could have brought that part of my childhood with me into the world of success. Because now that I'm successful, that's what I'm missing in my life. The world I was born in, though, was filled with its own beauty. In the 63rd Street projects, nothing was more important than the game of basketball. I started hooping when I was 5 with the street ball and haven't stopped since. Hooping was everywhere, and me and my brothers would hoop any chance we got. Hooping isn't just a hobby or a sport, it's a way of life. Unlike indoor supervised basketball and street ball, you had to adapt to the rules of the neighborhood where you played. Aggressive hand and leg checking was allowed. You could play full court or half court. Sometimes three-pointers were the pointers, and other times there were just considered beautiful shots. There were no hardwood floors. When you got knocked down, you landed on concrete or asphalt. Some hood courts had only a rim and a backboard instead of the familiar swoosh or whoosh the ball through the string net. You listen to the clang of a chain or the sweet sound of nothingness as the ball dropped through a netless rim. I love basketball because it helps me blow off steam. It gives me somewhere I can put some space between all of the other things going on in my life, even music. Like music, hoop makes life good. I love it for the fast action and high energy, but I'm going to be straight. I'm also pretty damn good. Thousands of brothers play better than me, but no one loves the game more. Joanne Kelly knew about me and basketball early on. She had a vision. Mom never looked behind, she looked ahead. She saw something in me and that I could have never seen myself. She understood that I loved basketball more than most other kids. That's why she encouraged my passion for the sport. She knew that she knew that nappy-headed little Rob needed to feel worthy, strong, and proud. She saw how I loved to compete. She let me play hoops as much as I wanted. Mom and I always had beautiful times together. It could be something as simple as getting up in the morning and walking to McDonald's. She didn't have enough money to buy us breakfast, only coffee for her and a Danish for us to share. To me, that was enough. I just wanted to be with her. She fixed her coffee with 3 creams and 6 sugars and tasted it to see if it was sweet enough. She wore the cheap red lipstick, and when she tasted the coffee, she left a red mark on the cup. She always asked me if I wanted a sip, and I always did, because I love my mother so much. I always turned the cup. This is his words. I always turned the cup where she had left the red mark. I liked to drink from the same spot where she drank. That's a little weird. It's weird. It's weird, and it's also weird. Like how much he talked. Like he was like he like loved her. You know, like I mean, I love my mom. Like I like love her, and I would like admire her. You know, and stuff. But I've never like. Girl, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, but okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. One day you're gonna be famous, my baby. Yeah, she would say with a smile, but I didn't really know what famous meant. I mean, famous like Al Green, she added, famous like Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye. See, you got a beautiful singing voice that's only going to get bigger and stronger. And then I'm going to have you, I'm sorry, and then I'm going to have enough money to buy you some breakfast here every day. Right, Mom? I would ask, yes, you will, sweetheart. You sure will. You sure enough will. My mother would take me back home after dropping me off to get ready for work. She had a job at the hospital where she was training to be an EGK technician. Before she left, she never failed to kiss me goodbye. Be good today, baby, she said. Listen to your grandma. We lived in a typical Chicago three-family building. We call them three flats. Grandma lived with her man, Uncle Kerry, on the top floor. Uncle Kerry owned a TV repair shop, but some of his customers were never happy. They complained that after Uncle Kerry fooled with their TVs, they worked worse than before. Uncle Kerry said they just didn't want to pay their bills. Grandma was heavy set like mom. I loved her. But the woman had her moods. I could tell when she was in her mood swings on because she and Uncle Kerry would get to screaming at each other. That usually meant they were already hitting the hard stuff. They liked their old granddad whiskey, and by early afternoon, they could be down a bottle already. I told you to fix that TV of mine a week ago, Grandma was screaming, and that damn thing still don't work. It was working till you started messing with the antenna, Gary screamed back. You the one effed it up. Me, here you go again, blaming me for the issue you can't do. What good are you around here if you can't even fix a got television set? If it's so easy, you fix it. I'll fix it, you son of a... It was World War III. Grandma and Carrie went at it something fierce. I couldn't tell if it was, I couldn't tell if he was beating on her or it was her beating on him. Next thing I heard was Grandma yelling, Rob, you get up here. I ran upstairs and Grandma told me, go to Mr. Eichenberg's store, get me a pack of Pall Malls, a hunk of hoghead cheese. A hunk of hogshead cheese, and some moon pies. I waited for the money. What you waiting for, boy? Cash, money, or food stamps? Don't got either. Tell Mr. Eichenberg I'll pay him on the 1st. I ran over to the store wondering if Mr. Eichenberg would go along with Grandma's pay plan and let it slide. He did. Back then, small neighborhood store owners still operated on the basis of principle of trust and family ties. You come from good people, he said. Plus, I've never seen you try to steal anything from me, not even a candy bar. Never would do nothing like that, I said. With that, Mr. Eichenberg gave me an Almond Joy candy bar. Back to the house, after giving Grandma her stuff, I heard my stuttering Uncle Doug calling me from down in the basement. The basement was his kingdom. Need your help, Rob. Get down here, he yelled. Uncle Doug was a mess. He had a big pot belly, wild woolly hair, and smelled like someone's sweaty feet. That day, like so many others, drinking wild Irish rose straight out of the bottle, he started in with stories about how he'd been pow-powed 4 different times and stabbed another 6 times. I'd heard them all before. You called me down here to tell me stories, Uncle Doug? I asked. No, boy, I called you down here. I called you down to see if the distant cousin of yours is here. Which one? The one with the big titties. Uncle Doug, you always want to be looking at big... No harm in looking. Is she around? Now, the uncle know that he said, is the distant cousin here? And then he said, which one? The one with the big... What? Ew. Ew. So you already know there's some weird stuff going on if he trying to holler at the distant cousin. If the uncle trying to holler at the distant cousin, this is gross. This is gross. Because he said distant cousin. I'll read that again. Okay. You called me down here to tell me stories, Uncle Doug? I asked. He says, no, boy. I called you down to see if that distant cousin of yours is here. R. Kelly says, which one? He says, the one with the big tick tick. Uncle Doug, why you always want to be looking at big? No harm in looking. Is she around? R. Kelly responds, no. Well, I'll just stay down here until you help me get this job done. What job? This here job behind the milk crates? Yeah. Uncle Doug walked to the other end of the basement where he dumped nasty old car seats and junky lamps. Bunches of old records were scattered on the floor. Dirt and dust everywhere. When he moved the milk crates, I saw Timskins, our German shepherd, lying there. Timskins asleep? I asked. No, Timskins dead. Dead? He said, dead as the in here breathing. Ain't breathe. Oh, Lord. He said dead as in the ain't breathing. I cannot. Who this uncle is a mess. Who this uncle is a mess. Who, girl, I cannot. It ain't breathing. I cannot. How to die? That's what R. Kelly said. He said accident. And R. Kelly said, what kind of accident? I set some poison in the peanut butter to kill rats. Timskins ate it instead. That's not funny. That's not. Okay, I get rats do like peanut butter, but dogs love peanut butter. Like, when I say, if I go put some peanut butter on a spoon right now, I give it to my dog for a snack often, like maybe once a week. I'll just go scoop some peanut butter and put it on a spoon, and I'll just I'll just hold it, and my dog will lick it clean. He loves peanut butter, so dogs love peanut butter. Peanut butter, meat, any kind of like meat a dog will eat. But they love peanut butter. Dogs love peanut butter. I have peanut butter toys. Like, it's a toy that I got from my dog. You stuff peanut butter in the middle, so when they get the thing out, they get to, eat the peanut butter off of it. Like, dogs love peanut butter. So that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't feel like he's lying. I feel like he was telling the truth. Because rats love peanut butter too. They do. But yeah, he shouldn't have had no dog down there and putting rat poison on there. That's crazy. But whatever. So let's keep going. RP, poor dog. Oh, I love dogs. So he says, Mom's gonna be furious. I said, she loves that dog. She can't know. How's she not gonna know? You ain't gonna tell her. When she comes to find out Timkins ain't here, what we gonna say? You better not say nothing. The dog's disappeared. Not this dog. This dog don't even go outside. He going outside now because we gonna bury him in the empty lot down the street. Girl. Girl, the uncle said he go outside now. It do now because we about to take it down. Oh my God, I cannot not go outside now. You got a girlfriend? Well, you do now. Get yours about my hand. So he said, don't go outside. It do now. Like, you got your nerve. So I was like, ooh, this uncle tried it. He said, buried it in the empty lot down the street. Now put it in this bag and follow me. I followed my uncle's instructions. I knew better than to argue with my elders. Even when my elders did crazy things, Uncle Doug did the supervising. I did the digging. And after a long while, we managed to bury Timkins. That night, my mother got home. The first thing she asked was, where's my dog? She looked at me. I looked away. She called up to Grandma and Carrie. They were asleep from a long day of drinking and fighting. She called down to Uncle Doug, who didn't answer. She looked at me again. You know something, Rob? I can see it in your eyes. She said, you ain't good at lying. Now tell the truth and shame the devil. Truth is, I hesitated. I wasn't comfortable snitching on my Uncle Doug. I wasn't comfortable snitching on anyone. Truth is what? Mom insisted. Truth is that Uncle Doug's rap was that killed Timkins, Mom. It was Uncle Doug. It was him. Because he snitched. He told her. He told her he did. That's what he said. That's what that word, it said right there. She said, truth is what? Mom insisted. Truth is that Uncle Doug, his rap boys killed Timkins. And then his mama said, oh, Lord. She cried, now I'm going to have to go down there and Uncle Doug. Yeah, get him, Joanne girl. He had to do that to that dog. Next thing I heard was a big commotion from the basement. Mother was down there chasing Uncle Doug, and Uncle Doug was doing all he could to duck and hide. You can run, you bastard, she said, but you can't hide. Your boy is lying, Uncle Doug lied. I didn't, your dog. My boy would never lie to me, said Joanne Kelly, and never will. There's only one liar, and that's what it said, one motherfucking liar around here, and that's you. Now you're going to get me a new dog, or I'll kick your sorry arse from here to Mississippi. By noon the next day, Uncle Doug was presenting my mom with a newborn mongrel puppy. I know that's right. Women in the house, okay? Now, is this going to be, hold on. Okay, yeah. So this we'll probably get into this part and then this next part, and then yeah, we'll cut it and then we'll do the rest tomorrow. Okay. Women in the house. Now this one, y'all, strap in. Strap in. Strap in. Strap in. It's about to, girl, it's about to get real weird, okay? It's been weird. It's been weird. But it's about to get weird. Okay? It's about to get weird. All right. Shout out to Jessica Davidson for the Super 6. Says, Sean, love you, Don Handsome, sending love from South Carolina. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tara. Shout out to Ernestine. Shout out to my baby Shay. She says, I love you. I'm back. I love you too. Shout out to Kayona for being a member. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Shout out to Lizzie Mack. She says, love you, Sean. Let me give you your flowers. Oh my God, Lizzie, I love you. Sweetheart, I love you. Shout out to Honey for becoming a member. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And shout out to Black Butterfly. Shout out to you. Now let's get into this, y'all. It's about to get real weird. It's about to get real weird. Okay, women in the house. There were always women in our little house at 40th and King. There were cousins, aunties, friends of aunties, all older women. When my mother wasn't home, the women ran a little freer, meaning that when my mom or my grandmother were home, they dress a certain way. We have the rest part. When my mother wasn't home, the women ran a little freer, meaning that when my mom or my grandmother were home, they dressed a certain way. When my mother and grandmother were out, they felt free to wear less clothing. You could see through their blouses. Sometimes they wore bras, sometimes they didn't. When they walked around in nightgowns or pajamas, you could see their panties, and on a few occasions, like on a very hot summer days, they wouldn't even wear panties. He talking about the people that live in the house with him. Aunties, cousins. That's crazy. That's great. It was a lot of women in my family. My grandmother has 7 daughters. So, I have a lot of aunts and cousins and all of that stuff. But I never even had like those thoughts. Like I would never even think that way. Like they were like my caregivers, like my older cousins and aunts and my mom. They're all caregivers. Like I didn't look at them as. So he's saying this like basically like all of his family members, his aunts and cousins and stuff would dress sexier when certain people weren't around. So wow. It's like him fantasizing about it. It is like it's what it gives me. But let's keep going. As a very young boy, I didn't think much of it. The women didn't really pay much attention to me or my brothers. I looked at them the way any kid would. Kids are naturally fascinated by body parts, and I was no different. As I crept up in age, though, and made my way through grammar school, I found myself more curious and sometimes aroused. And when I was ashamed of being aroused, but there was no one I felt I could talk to about this. So basically being aroused by his own family, you know. Crazy. I couldn't have a sit down with my mother because I wouldn't know what to say or how to say it. There was no man I trusted enough to share such shameful feelings with. So again, these feelings that he had was about family members, cousins, aunts, grandmother, mother, even friends of cousins and stuff, but it was more so because it's nothing to be ashamed of if you find your cousin's friend attractive. If you think your cousin friend look good, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing to be ashamed of. But there is something to be ashamed of when you feel that way about your own family. When you're attracted to your mother or attracted to your sister or attracted to your cousin, it's a lot of shame behind those type of feelings. So like I said, he didn't have anybody he could trust to talk to about something he was so ashamed of. So let's keep going. Okay. I couldn't have a sit down with my mother because I wouldn't know what to say or how to say it. There was no man I trusted enough to share the shameful feelings with. Growing up with that shame has haunted me throughout my life. One winter afternoon, I came back from school early when my mom or mother wasn't home. As I came to the door, I heard a strange noise. It sounded like bed springs squeaking. The walls in our place were paper thin, and the sound came through like there weren't any walls at all. The squeaking got louder and louder. Then I heard voices. A woman screamed, but it didn't sound like a scream of pain or panic. Then I heard a man's voice shouting, but it wasn't in anger. Oh God, do it, do it. Get it right there, baby, right there. The woman pleaded. You like it, don't you? How much you want it? How much you can take? The man shouted. All you got, the woman shouted back. I was just 8 years old. I didn't understand what was happening, though the man was maybe hurting the woman, but that didn't seem right. I was confused, curious. So I went to see for myself. Girl. I crept toward the bedroom where the noises were coming from. They were doing so much hollering. I figured they wouldn't hear the door if I opened it just a little. Then I looked inside. The man's backside was high in the air, coming up and down on the lady with her legs spread wide. Her big booty. Lord. Lord, an 8-year-old is going through all this. Her big booty propped up on a pillow. I didn't understand how it was all working, but he was moving down on her and she was coming up on him. First, the rhythm was slow, then faster, then crazy fast. They were screaming, moaning, and going wild. I couldn't stop looking. I'd never seen nothing like this before. Screaming, cursing, bed sagging, bodies bumping. Just then, the woman caught sight of me. They stopped abruptly. Little Robert, what you doing in here, boy? Now, mind you, this is family. Girl. Girl, So let's keep going. Who is that little girl in the picture? That's Robert. That's R. Kelly when he was 8. This is Robert. That's R. Kelly. And not y'all say who is that little girl in the That's R. Kelly. That's him when he was 8. Yeah, that's why he put the picture there. That's him when he was 8 years old. If you look at the picture, you can see it. You can say, okay, the eyebrows, the eyes. Okay, that's definitely him. But yeah, that's R. Kelly. Yes, at 8 years old. Yes, he was 8 years old in this photograph. 100%. But let's keep going. Y'all get crazier. I got scared and started running. She shouted out, "Come on back, boy. It's okay." Girl, I cannot. I cannot. He was 8 years old, coming in on family members, having whoopee. Didn't know exactly what the sound stuff was confused by it. Curiosity peaks. He goes upstairs, creeps in the door, watching, seeing what's going on. The woman sees him, and tells him to come back when he runs after being, found out. He leaves like what any normal kid would do. Run, oh, I'm caught, And she like, no, you can watch. Isn't that essay? Isn't it? Because, if you can't show a child pornography, you also can't do it in front of them either, correct? So isn't that like essay? Because no. Ooh, Loki says some kind of Loki said it's something, Sean. It's something. Because that's crazy. Not tell him to come back. Oh my God. Girl. Let's keep going. Whew. This is a lot. Okay, right. I got scared and started running. She shouted out, "Come on back. It's okay." They were still in bed, both of them naked, when she said, "You can watch, but you better not say ish to nobody about this." Who do y'all think it was? Who do y'all think would have said to him, "You can watch, but you better not say anything"? Who do y'all think it was? His older sister lived there, his mother lived there, his grandmother lived there, and one of his aunts, I believe. No. His sister lived there, his mother lived there, and his grandma stayed upstairs, and his uncle stayed downstairs. So it's a female that lives there that said this to him. Who do y'all think it is? I see a lot of y'all saying sister. I see a lot of y'all saying sister. Girl, la 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 la. I see a lot of y'all sis, sister, crazy. All y'all saying is the sister. Interesting. Like he said, the mama. Giselle said the sister of the mama. Okay, don't none of y'all think it's the grandmama? Star Child said the grandmama, Sean. The grandmama, Sean. Gemini Twin said the cousin. The cousin. Girl, la 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 la. We got some grandmothers. Okay, y'all starting the grandma crew coming through. The grandma crew coming through. Y'all, ain't this a lot? Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like, girl. Let's see, a lot of y'all saying sister. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. So okay, I got scared. Okay, but you better not say nothing. I knew the women in my house weren't dressing or acting right. My mother or grandmother wouldn't dream of parading around the house half dressed. At the same time, I couldn't snitch. In my house, and growing up in the hood, the number one rule was don't snitch, don't tell. It was the same as learning 2 + 2 = 4. It was drilled into you. And if you didn't know 2 + 2 = 4, you failed. In the hood, if you snitched, you weren't going to make it. Still, as I grew older, things began to change when I was around these women. And he's talking about the people he's related to. When I was 9, they changed in a major way. I began to regret this code of silence. If my mother had known what was going on in the house, she probably would have burned the house down. She didn't play that. I wanted to tell her, but I had a hard time trying to figure out who would really be in trouble, me or them. At that age, I didn't really know how to handle it. And I knew it wasn't right, but I just didn't know how to say anything about it. Talking about it was strange. So I locked it away as my own little secret. Now, this is him talking about his sister, for sure. Okay? He is talking about his eldest sister. Let's get into that. At the time, Mom was going out with Lucius, the man that she later married when I was still a kid. I wasn't happy about it because I wanted her to stay at home with me. No, you weren't happy about it because you wanted to be with her yourself. But Lucius was okay. He was a nice man, nice to me, and most of the times, nice to my mother. He liked to tell us stories about his army days. Since my real daddy was long gone, I liked listening to an older man talking about back in the day. I saw Lucius more like a big brother than a father. My mother and Lucius went out together often. Sometimes they left me with Uncle Doug. My brothers didn't like Lucius, but my attitude was different from theirs. Anything that made Mom happy made me happy too. One Saturday evening, we were watching TV. Don't watch that television set all night, Mom said before she and Lucius left the house. Me and my brothers liked horror movies. We were watching the creature from the Black Lagoon when the TV crapped out. Picture went dead. I called up to Uncle Kerry to fix it, but he was snoring loud enough to wake the dead. My brothers went off to bed, but I kept hanging on the TV, hoping to get the picture back. When it did pop back on, the monster was rising out of the Black Lagoon. I was waiting to see what would happen next. Just like that, the damn picture crapped out again. Disgusted, I fell asleep on the couch. I was far away in some dream when I heard that same noise. Bed springs squeaking. The guys yelling, "Tell me how much you like it." The lady screaming back, "Give it to me. Give me all you got." I got up and looked around the house to make sure my mother wasn't home yet. She was still out with Lucius. This time, I knew what all the noise was about. Truth be told, I wanted to have another good look. So he's admitting, basically, this is his sister. It's his sister hooking up with the dude. And with her sister hooking up with this man, he wanted to go see her again. He wanted to go watch them again since she allowed him to watch. The last time, he wanted to go watch again. Okay? This is R. Kelly admitting that he liked to watch his sister get it on. So now y'all think about him in the cameras and all of the recordings and him making videos with all of the girls and all of that stuff and whatnot. This is where it was inspired. This is how it came into fruition with his sister. His sister had a lot to do with creating this monster. She absolutely did. And she is free as, as me. And she shouldn't be. So let's keep going. Okay. Prescribe out again. Fall asleep on the counter. Stay okay. Okay. Another good look. I opened the door just enough to see them kicking it hard. I mean, they were deep into it. I stood there for a while just as I started to come close to the door, the woman spotted me. "Don't move, Rob," she said. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. "Come over here and get this camera," she said. "Take a picture of us." So this is where the recording comes from. This is where him taking pictures, videos of sexual conquest, and all of that was birthed as a child. He was 9 when this happened, 9 years old. And his sister is telling him to take a camera and take a picture of her getting down with, yes, he was 9 years old when this happened. I believe he was 9 when this happened. Correct. But that's what she said. Take a picture of us. He said, "I was scared, didn't know what to expect. Come over here and get this camera," she said. "Take a picture of us." I was dumbfounded. Couldn't say a word. "You know how to use this thing, don't you?" I was stunned to talk. All I could do is shake my head. "No." "It's easy," she said. "Just aim this camera and snap a goddamn picture." She gave me a Polaroid camera. The guy liked the idea as much as she did. Girl. Are y'all okay? Hi, Roxy. I love you, Roxy. Roxy's Lady Lounge. I love you, sweetheart. Excuse me? And the dude was down with it too. Like, yeah, 9-year-old. Take the... Crazy. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Are y'all in the audience okay? Because this is why we got to take breaks with this, y'all. This is why we got to take, because y'all, this is a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm trying not to trigger y'all, and stuff like that. Cammy, make sure you're checking on people in the chat, girl. This is a lot, okay? Okay, let's keep going. So, I was too stunned to talk. All I could do was shake my head no. "It's easy," she said. "Just aim the camera and snap a goddamn picture." She gave me a Polaroid camera. The guy liked the idea as much as she did. They got into positions where I could see their private parts and snapped the picture. When she showed me how, it took only a minute to develop. I was amazed. The photographic technology impressed me more than the sex. She grabbed the photo and kept it for herself. I took the memory of them doing the dirty and stashed it inside of my mind's brick box. Oh my goodness. So it's like she wanted him to see everything that was going on. oh my God, this poor kid. Like, but at the same time, it's like he talked about it like he liked it. Like, that's what is so crazy about it. You know, most people will be cringing to say these things. It's like R. Kelly was enjoying, you know, talking about this. Oh, it's just such a, whew. All right. A couple of nights later, Mom was out again, and I was sitting on the couch with Uncle Doug. We were watching TV. My favorite show was The Jeffersons, but on this particular night, we were looking at Three's Company. Uncle Doug turned to me and asked, Now, is this here every man's dream? Every man's dream of living with two women? Which one do you like? The blonde, I said, Chrissy. I like both of them B words, Uncle Doug said. Ain't about to kick either out of my bed. Halfway through the show, the TV went dead again. Carrie, Uncle Doug shouted, Where's that MFN lame repairman when we need him? Gone our grandma, I said. Uncle Doug let out a big sigh. Oh, well, we probably better off then. We're probably better off. If he is, I'm sorry, it's a lot of F's and T's. I don't know why they wrote it like that. Okay, burn the house down, boy. Okay, I've had enough for one day. I'm going to bed. Good night, Uncle Doug. Good night, Rob. I stayed on the couch staring at the dark TV, thinking what it might be like to have a dad like George Jefferson. Someone with enough money to move us into a fancy high rise in the sky. I started thinking of Jack Tripper, the guy in Three's Company, and the cool but confusing situation that he was in. I drifted off to sleep and fell into a crazy dream about Three's Company when a strange feeling in my body woke me up. The feeling was down below my belt. I opened my eyes and saw that a female was playing with me. She was at least 10 years older than me. I was 8. So his 18-year-old sister at the time was, yeah. Mhm. It's going to get a lot deeper. Okay. This is a lot. So at 8 years old, he was dreaming and he woke up to a feeling. And when he opened his eyes, it was an 18-year-old girl in front of him, touching him below the belt. He was 8. This is why he said earlier that he was scared to tell his mom because he didn't know who was going to be in trouble, him or her. And as a child, you think that way, right? Everybody's scared of, like, when you're a kid, like scared of like whoopings and stuff like that. You're afraid. So it takes you to get older, you know, to feel comfortable enough saying something. But at that point in time, he said nothing. Which is understandable. It's common. Shouldn't be, but it is. And the whole snitching thing. No snitching. You ain't supposed to tell. Da, 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 da. So when you stuck with all these things, you know, in the Black community, especially, when you stuck with that way of thinking, it's a lot of people will take that to their grave before they say anything out loud. Ever. They will take it to their grave before they say anything, all because they feel like they're protecting a code and people when they don't deserve protection. And there is no code. You see something, say something. That's the code. Nothing else. So the sister, the old man, sorry, I'll pay the mom's money. Because we're going to get into that. I believe that that is another trait that he picked up along the way. Because if a man did this to me, because we're going to get into what the man did to him. If a man did this to me and got away with it, all he had to do was throw some money at it to make my mom not testify or not bring me to testify and all that. He incorporated that into his own world. The same thing. So back in the 90s and early 2000s, stuff like that, when people were coming forward with lawsuits and trying to pull charges up on him for being with underage girls and stuff like that, he would pay him. He would. That's where he learned it. If I didn't get justice, why do y'all deserve to get justice? If the person that did this to me can just be paid and it go away, why can't I do the same thing? I wasn't protected. The people that did this to me, they all free. They all got to live their lives. Why I don't get to live mine? I think that's how he looks at it. I do. 100%. So, Shai, when you're saying that, you're spot on. You're spot on. 100%. I was thinking the same thing when I was reading this. I was like, oh, well, is that why he incorporated it too? But reading this book explains so much. That's why I feel like he's being honest in this diary, journal, book, whatever he wants to call it. I feel like he's being extremely honest. I do, because it explains a lot. It really does. It explains a lot. It does. And he's had a very sad life. Very sad. Yeah. Very sad. Like super sad. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, we will finish this. We will get into part 2. We'll do that tomorrow. Shout out to Super Sway. So thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. She says best in there, whatever. Thank you, sweetheart. Shout out to a Texas T for becoming a member. Thank you so much. And shout out to Roxy's Lady Lounge. Shout out to my baby. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Oh my God, I love you guys. So are y'all ready to read part 2 tomorrow? Because we've been live for 2 hours. I don't want them to be. I know y'all don't mind long lives, but I like to break them apart. So but we're definitely gonna do part 2 tomorrow. We're gonna come on and do part 2. Because it's not like incredibly long. The book it's not, but it'll probably be like 3 parts, 3 to 4 parts. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot because I read the whole thing front to back. I love reading, but I read the whole thing front to back. And when I read it, watching Surviving R. Kelly and see him go to church, it just made me look at him completely different. I try not to sympathize and empathize, but it's hard not to. It is really hard not to because he's been through a lot. He has. He's been through a lot. He has. So we will finish, and we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes. We have not even gotten to the meat and potatoes. You're welcome, Loki. I love you, girl. We haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes. Do you understand me? Shout out to my baby, Loki, for the Cash App. Shout out to Tamika as well for the Cash App too. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. So yes, Giselle, I could not agree more. I can sympathize for the adolescent, teenage art. Yes. My heart weeps for that person. The adult, but for the adolescent and the teenager him, poor guy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel bad for him, poor guy, when he was going through this stuff. I don't feel sorry for him now. Absolutely not. I don't. I don't. Y'all talk about some comeback tonight. I went to go around. Y'all like, come back tonight, John. Come back tonight. It is tonight. Hello. Y'all like, come back tonight. I cannot with you guys. Very sad. Very sad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can definitely vouch for the teenage R. Kelly, the adolescent R. Kelly. I can empathize and sympathize with him. But the adult is on his own. The guy that's in jail right now, he's on his own. He got to figure all that out. But yeah, so girl, that's just where we are on that. But I love you guys. We will be back tomorrow for sure, but you never. We'll see what tonight what the lick read. If I'm free this evening, then I'll jump on. But if not, for sure, we will jump on tomorrow because I want to get this book out of the way so that we can move on to our next books and book, because there's going to be a lot of book clubs. So I want to make it a thing. I want to make it like poppin' for us, like popular for us to do and be kind of like known for it. So I'm excited. So thank you all for joining me. I love you all. We had over 600 people in the building for doing a book read. Book reads are not popular. So again, thank y'all for being here. Like, I really didn't expect more than like 100 people. I'm like, yeah, we're probably at like 100 or they're like 200 in the chat. People really aren't like interested. You know, this book has been read plenty of times. But my audience was just like, yeah, no, Sean, we're here for it. We are here for it. We are here for it. Shout out to Tango for becoming a member. Absolutely, I love you guys. So I will see y'all for sure tomorrow. Okay, and I have some recordings that's going up on Coffee. So I have a couple shows that I'm gonna drop on there tonight. One's already uploading right now that I have another one to upload. But yeah, so and we will be on Coffee for sure tomorrow. After our book read, we'll be going over to Coffee. I do have a video that I've done on Shanquella, an update video on that. I've been promising you guys that for quite some time, so that's gonna come out next. So I've been working. Sean's been working. Sean has been working, girl. So I love you guys. But until the next video, thank you for all subscribing.